You're watching AccuWeather, the most trusted name in weather. Right now, we are continuing to track Hurricane Maria, now at 165 miles per hour as a Category 5 hurricane. The pressure now at 913, about as strong actually Irma has been, and the location at 16.8 north, 64.0 west, moving to the west-northwest at 10 miles per hour. And you can see that eye has now moved away from Dominica, now beginning to target and move towards Puerto Rico, and will eventually slide across portions of Hispaniola. You can see the all-encompassing aspect of the outer waves of this system with this enhanced satellite view, hitting Martinique as well as Anguilla, and just leaving Dominica, where it just ravaged that small little place. That's just a devastating effect there. So as it travels, it's still a Category 5 till it's likely to strike Puerto Rico. Then it'll be leaning to the north of Hispaniola as a Category 4 by 2 a.m. Thursday, 2 p.m. Friday as a Category 4, and then will be downgraded, hopefully, to a Category 3 as it moves to the north of the Bahamas. So this is what we're expecting as far as the tracking is concerned with the latest information we have from Maria at this hour.
Yet another hurricane is threatening the United States as well as many Caribbean islands. Preparations underway now in Puerto Rico. Hurricane Maria is on the way. It is massive and dangerous. Look at this. It's just the latest after Irma and Harvey, and all of the rest in between is now headed after leaving a devastating trail of destruction in the island of Dominica, which is said to be nearly destroyed. The National Weather Service is warning that this is potentially catastrophic still and strengthening. Joining me now on the phone from San Juan, Juan Radar is a meteorologist for Weather Nation TV. He's been tracking the storms over the past 15 years and certainly over the past several weeks. Brett, good to talk to you tonight. Tell me what you're seeing there in Puerto Rico now.
Well, here in San Juan, most areas have closed up. Everyone's really prepared for the storm, it seems. We rode around the islands a little bit today. And what's devastating to see already to us is that you still have areas without power and trees down and power poles down from Irma. So, you know, this is going to be a devastating blow to Puerto Rico as a whole.
What was the reaction of people on the ground there? And we should point out, you know, we'd hoped to have a picture of you as well, but things are getting very dicey there, technically, of course, given this storm. How are the people weathering all of this?
Well, I mean, you have some people here that are actually tourists that are stuck. They had flights out of here and they're stranded. Well, not stranded. They're staying at hotels and they have emergency plans in place. The residents here, they've been working fast and furious, boarding up, getting food, getting supplies. So, you know, the preparations that can be done have been done. The streets are fairly empty tonight. And, you know, everybody's really starting to batten down those hatches because it's really going to get wild here, really, 2, 3 a.m.
Yeah, so that's the prediction. We're looking at the track on the left-hand side of the screen. What is your best take on where this is going and potential turns that it could take and places that need to be warned?
Well, the unfortunate circumstances, there's a high in the Atlantic Ocean that is kind of steering this, and I just don't see how Puerto Rico does not get a blunt, direct hit. Pretty much all of the islands are going to face major impact, potentially infrastructure damage, and now the pressure that was measured is below 910 millibars. So, you know, we are actually stronger pressure-wise than Hurricane Irma ever was. So that's quite a concern.
All right. We are staying on top of this breaking news story tonight throughout the evening. Hurricane Maria, as it sets its sights on San Juan and Puerto Rico. Brett, thank you.
The Global Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Anthony Farnell. This is the latest satellite imagery of this Category 5 Hurricane Maria. Overnight, Dominica, complete devastation from winds of 260 kilometers per hour. The eye moving over basically the entire country. Now it's into the Caribbean Sea. There's a lot of warm water around, and there's no reason for this storm to weaken significantly as it moves towards the U.S. Virgin Islands, St. Kitts right there, and then right across parts of eastern Puerto Rico. This is going to be a devastating storm. Strong words coming out of the National Hurricane Center. Catastrophic, life or death. And really, that is the case for many of these islands, some of which were hit less than 2 weeks ago from Hurricane Irma, which was also a Category 5. The radar out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, picking up the eye of the storm. This is where the strongest winds are, although we're already seeing some of these outer bands moving through Puerto Rico. And if we follow the path of the eye, it takes it right next to St. Kitts and then right across San Juan. This will be overnight tonight and into the day on Wednesday. A horrible situation. The last time a Category 4 hurricane impacted Puerto Rico was back in 1932. Hurricane Hugo in '89 took a similar track, but it was weaker at the time. So we have a Category 5 eventually slowly weakening, but still it's going to be too little too late for the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and then potentially the Turks and Caicos Islands. Winds 260 kilometers per hour. The pressure has come down a bit, 927 millibars, and it is still moving to the west-northwest at 16 kilometers per hour. Dominica, I mentioned the eye passing over it. Guadeloupe, same thing. The southern part of the country receiving the strongest winds, and now we're seeing that track eventually gaining more latitude and curving away from Irma's track, which continued off to the west-northwest. What's the eventual outcome of Maria? Well, a lot depends on this. Hurricane Jose still sitting and spinning off the U.S. East Coast. Tropical storm warnings in place for some, but it's this weekend, Jose lingering, and it's that trough that makes an out, an escape route for Maria as the ridge builds on both sides. That weakness in the ridge, right in the middle, means that Maria more likely to head out to sea, and that now is what computer models are predicting. In blue, the American model, and as we looked at the European model in red, both of them avoiding U.S. and Canadian landfall, and that is what we're hoping. Another update coming on this potentially catastrophic storm.